Today we're going into the whole Rich Gang saga and discussing our theories as to why it never really took off. But we would be remiss if we didn't start the story at the beginning. What up guys, Ali here and welcome to Ali Talks Music. Add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music as well. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. Now 2013 was a major year for hip-hop. Jay-Z made headlines for signing one of the biggest rapper/major brand deals in the form of his $20 million Samsung collaboration, which saw his album Magna Carta Holy Grail first becoming available to users of the Android devices. On top of that, Miley Cyrus went full renegade, twerking on stage at the VMAs, and Vine saw underground rappers rising to prominence a lot faster than ever before. On top of that, multiple rap superstars dropped albums around 2013, including Kanye West's Yeezus, Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP2, Drake's Nothing Was the Same, and A$AP Rocky's Long Live A$AP. In short, hip-hop was beginning to permeate the very air of the music industry as a whole, spreading and dividing into subgenres and affecting everything from fashion to brand deals to language as a whole. Not only that, but it was also evolving in its own way, doing away with the idea that rap had to be aggressive, hard and gangster. Essentially, hip-hop became more mainstream. It is within these roots that our story first took shape. Young Money and Cash Money was still very much a family and operating as YMCMB, and the label and its imprint were arguably one of the best in the business. Lil Wayne had dropped a 5x platinum The Carter 4 in 2011 and was gearing up for his I Am Not a Human Being 2, while his proteges Drake and Nicki had dropped the 4x platinum Take Care and the double platinum Pink Friday Roman Reloaded respectively in previous years. Sadly, the man behind the empire, Birdman, had yet to drop even one platinum-selling album despite his decades in the industry, which may or may not have played into his next album decisions. Nonetheless, Young Money Cash Money Billionaires was surviving and thriving, led by their superstar trio and backed by a host of solid up-and-comers like Tyga, Bow Wow, and Gutta Gutta. Now that we know what's happening with the billionaires, it would also be a really good time to touch base with the other rappers in our story, Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. By 2013, Young Thug was really coming up in the game. He had released several mixtapes between 2011 and 2012 in the form of his 3-part series, I Came From Nothing. The mixtapes did really well and managed to capture the attention of fellow Atlanta-based rapper, Gucci Mane. Gucci really liked what Young Thug was putting down, and by 2013, Young Thug had signed to Mane's 1017 Brick Squad Records. Consequently, Young Thug released his first mixtape as a signed artist, the critically acclaimed 1017 Thug. Apart from earning accolades in multiple charts, 1017 was called the best mixtape of the year and landed him a spot on Complex's 25 New Rappers to Watch Out For. On the other hand, Rich Homie Quan was also on the up and up. Though Quan only got started around 2012, his offerings were just as impressive. Around 2012, he released 2 solo mixtapes called I Go In On Every Song and Still Going On. This was followed by another 3 mixtapes in 2013 called Trust God, F 12, which was a collaboration with Gucci Mane, as well as Still Going In Reloaded, and I Promise I Will Never Stop Going In.
That car driving make you feel some type of way. I know you do. That custom brightly make you feel some type of way.
His last mixtape actually managed to chart on both the R&B and rap charts. In addition to also earning credits for his mixtapes, Rich Homie Quan actually took off on tour with Trinidad James around 2013. Both artists were doing impressively well on their own and collaborated for the first time on Gucci Mane's Chasing Paper off his Trap House 3 album. Back to the billionaires. Now at this point, YMCMB was a label full of individual star performers. YMCMB was making some of the biggest waves in the industry, and Birdman decided to do what he could do to capitalize on that, forming the star-studded supergroup Rich Gang First Edition. Nah, just playing. It was actually Rich Gang. Either way, he brought together all of the stars from both Young Money and Cash Money, including Drake, Nicki, Wayne, Busta Rhymes, and of course Birdman himself, as well as associates of the label like French Montana, Future, and Meek Mill. The idea was to bring all of the megastars together to create an album that would make fans collectively lose their minds. Nonetheless, the hype around the group was massive, and both Birdman and Slim had massive hopes for where it could lead. They announced plans for the album to be titled Rich Gang, Flashy Lifestyle, and was supposed to come out around May of 2013, and at the time, both brothers could not stop singing its praises. Without a doubt, this album is one of the best group albums to date. I guarantee that it will be in rotation on every club, at every party, and coming out of the speakers of every car. YMCMB is a family, and this album is an example of our bond. We are thrilled to come together, partner with some of our closest friends, and create something special for our fans. Think of it as an audio present from our family to yours. To build hype around the project, a mixtape was released prior to the album titled Rich Gang All-Stars. The 24-track mixtape featured a number of impressive songs and artists, including Drake's Started From the Bottom, Ace Hood's Bugatti, and Lil Wayne's Rich as Fuck. Rich Gang had all the foundations laid, and the album eventually came out around 2013 without a feature from Drake for some reason. Unfortunately, the album did not do very well. It sold about 40,000 copies in the first 3 weeks and peaked at number 9 on the Billboard 200. The album spawned the singles Tap Out and its not so successful siblings We Been On and 50 Plates.
I'm down to feel this empty sex. I'm down to feel this empty sex.
In theory, the album should have done well. It had so many superstars on the project. However, it's clear that something was not working. And so Rich Gang was put onto the back burner while Birdman went back to the drawing board, keeping his eyes and ears peeled for his next big superstar. Meanwhile, Rich Homie Quan was making all of his own waves and managed to land a spot on the XXL cover of 2014.
I remember at first everybody was sleeping on me. I tried to wake them up, but they still went Tempur-Pedic on me.
He had also released 2 gold certified singles by this point, 2013's Type of Way and 2014's Walk Through with Problem. Young Thug was also making waves and dropped about 5 mixtapes. He even announced that he had been offered $8.5 million to join Future's Free Bands label. Essentially, Thug and Rich Homie Quan were just blowing up. Thus, Birdman's star radar was going off at very high levels. He began talking with both Thug and Rich Homie Quan, which sparked a lot of theories that they were signing to Cash Money, but these were later proven false as both artists had their own contracts. Instead, they signed management contracts with Young Money, and the new era Rich Gang was born. As a new trio, Birdman, Young Thug, and Rich Homie Quan collaborated for the first time on the London on the Track produced track, Lifestyle. This time the song was a hit. It eventually went platinum and spawned 3 remixes by Lil Boosie, Jacquees, and Waka Flocka Flame. As if it wasn't already apparent, Birdman realized that Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug had a lot of chemistry. And as a way to find out what they were capable of, the trio worked together on another mixtape called Rich Gang The Tour Part 1, which came out around 2014.
My nigga for life, man. You heard me? Young Thug, you heard me, man? That's what we doing right here. You heard me?
She get from up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Quan, we just one. We all one round this motherfucker. You heard my nigga?
Oh, we got to.
Young Quan, we got to. You heard me? YSL Rich Gang, YMCMB, nigga, we one blood on everything. You heard?
The tape had no other YMC artists on it, except for Birdman himself, and had features by other impressive artists like Nipsey Hussle, Jacquees, and Young Ralph. The tape was composed mainly of music that Thug and Rich Homie Quan had recorded, showcasing their electrical chemistry, with a few occasional appearances by Birdman, landing his certified stamp of approval on the up-and-coming artists. It spawned a whopping 7 promotional singles, including Tell 'Em Lies, I'm a Ride, Freestyle, and Soldier.
She on it now, 'cause time don't stop. You know I gotta hit the streets, beat up the black.
The mixtape had such a positive response that a 13-day tour was announced for the trio. According to Birdman, this is how the mixtape came into fruition. They were already working on a project, them too, and I said let's do it together. Let me take it to the next level for y'all. Cause I see y'all got the potential and the talent. I just thought by them being together, it would be a stronger impact and then they can still do their solo things. Unfortunately, despite the major waves the mixtape made, it stalled right there. 2 months later, nothing had happened regarding the tour, which was slated to begin around November. Aside from a handful of performances together, no venues or dates had been confirmed, and very little information or reason was released. A bit strange considering the tour had been scheduled for the mixtape. It was literally in the title. But we all know that Young Money Cash Money had some shady stuff going on. Nonetheless, things continued to go downhill when 8 songs were released around December from Rich Gang's follow-up attempt, The Tour Part 2. In addition to the leaks, there was a collaboration between Quan and Drake titled Tell Me Why. At the time, Birdman and Wayne had issues, which literally started around the same time that the songs were leaked. By around 2015, Rich Homie Quan announced that he was stepping back from Rich Gang and was going to focus on his own solo album.
Well, for one, like, it was just great collaborative music. Like, I was never just Rich Gang. It's just, we were just all solo artists, you know, working on a project together. You know what I mean? I never signed any paperwork. You feel me? I came in, Rich Homie Quan, and that's the way I wanted to live, man. Despite how much good music we did, or all that, you know what I mean? I still want to just always do my own thing. You know what I mean? I just didn't never want nobody to feel as if, like, to say, yeah, well, you know, I did this for Quan, and, you know, Quan the reason, nah. I want to always just be like, yeah, man, I did this because I wanted to do it.
By May, the unthinkable had happened. 100 songs and sketches from their The Tour Part 2 project had been leaked. The songs ranged from bare bones to skits, to fully blown songs and collaborations, all of which featured Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. At the time, there was a major speculation about who leaked it and why, and what impact it would have on Rich Gang. Well, we all know what happened. Rich Gang stalled, never to be started again. It was around 2017 that Rich Homie Quan came out to lay the blame exclusively at Birdman's feet. This is one of the times Birdman didn't pay the studio, so the studio leaked all the music. They said Bird didn't pay them, so they leaked all the songs. Bro, I got mad. When I would see them, I kept thinking it was a dream. Like, I know this song. It might have been 2 songs out of all those songs that I really cared about. And once those 2 got leaked, I was like, damn, those were going to be on the album. Now, despite his despondency at all of his leaked hard work, Quan is still on good terms with Birdman. He also tried to be positive about the situation. That was a lesson. Quan, get your own studio, no music getting leaked. Anyways, that's the story of Rich Gang. By his 3rd attempt, Birdman was a master of creating groups. Unfortunately, he didn't put enough effort into paying the right people, and ultimately they got their revenge. After that, his very public feud with Lil Wayne made him put everything else aside, and Young Thug and Quan had to do something else to make it big. Now, another thing that caused the Rich Gang split was the tension between Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. Around 2015, Thug called Rich Homie Quan the B word, to which Quan responded. My first reaction was, my brother called me b. To be honest, not to get in my feelings, it hurt. Not hurt as in I'm gonna cry, but dog, bro, I would never disrespect you, point blank period, especially when we have each other's numbers. Now, both Quan and Young Thug did do their own solo thing after this, with Young Thug becoming the bigger artist.
What's the relationship with Quan, with Rich Homie?
No, we don't have no problem.
Okay.
Like, I don't think we can be like how we used to be.
Right.
He already just did some bullshit. He already know my heart. So it's like, once you just, I'm too pure. So once you just
cross that line.
Yeah, you do that, it's like, no. I forgive. I always forgive. If I kill a person, I pray to God that He forgive me. If I do something to a person, I pray I get forgiveness. So I always forgive. I don't ever hold grudges on nobody. I forgive everybody.
But on the the shallow end. You know how people want more music and people want to put y'all together. You don't see that happening.
No.
Right.
Because it'll be just.
It's more personal as opposed to.
Yeah, it's nothing about music. It's 100% personal. Like, this was my brother.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro. Now it's like, man, you probably can't never get the blessing of having me on the song, and I can never get the blessing of having you on my song again.
Damn. And as you say that to us, I don't know what you're talking about, but Quan, he know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. He did a show before, and I think a guy had touched his leg on the stage, like a fan was like, yo, he was standing on the end of the stage, and people was touching him, grabbing his shoes, and he was like, yo, I ain't with that gay shit, nigga, I ain't with that thug shit. And it's just like, damn, you my brother, like, nigga, I got your name tattooed on me. Like, the fuck is you doing? So it's just like, it's like that. Like, I forgive him because I know he really be drunk. Quan get drunk.
Damn.
He get drunk to the point where I have to carry him out the club. Like, so I know for a fact he was drunk, but it's like.
So at the moment, there's not a conversation, nothing. You over here, he's over there, and it's just.
Yeah.
I heard.
He know what it is.
Yeah. And I always tell people, I say, man, in life is like mathematics. You know what I'm saying? It's like you wanna add wisdom. You know what I'm saying? You want to add years to your life. You want to multiply your money. You know what I'm saying? You got to divide your time with us, your music career, your kids. That's division. And then there's times in life you got to start subtracting people too. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one of those things where we hope for something, but it's like, oh man, it ain't gonna happen.
Nah.
Style wise,
Rich Gang gets about 1.2 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and their most listened to songs are Lifestyle, Tap Out, Show Me Love, Blue Emerald, and Take Care. That's it for me, it's your boy Ali. What happened to Rich Gang in your opinion? Let me know down below. Video requests, I'm always taking those. Also add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music. Till next time, peace.
Perfect.